Inside the living body, chemical and biological change never stops. Digestion alone is a continuous cycle of breakdown and rebuilding. Food is mechanically broken, chemically altered by acids and enzymes, fermented by microbes in the gut, absorbed into the blood, metabolized by the liver, and redistributed to cells. This is why the body makes sounds, gas, gurgling, shifting fluids, especially when hungry or digesting. These are not malfunctions, they are signs of active internal transformation. At a cellular level, sugars ferment into acids, fats are emulsified and oxidized, proteins are cleaved into amino acids, and waste products are constantly being neutralized, buffered, and eliminated. This constant inner working is what early vitalists meant when they said life resembles controlled fermentation rather than sterile stillness. From that perspective, microzyma are neutral intelligences, not enemies. They respond to the programming of the environment. If the internal terrain, blood, lymph, tissues becomes disharmonic, acidic, stagnant, depleted of minerals, poorly drained, then the microzyma express themselves in forms suited to that environment, which is bacteria, fungi, or other microbial states that consume decaying material. They are not malicious, they are adaptive. This is why in this model, germs are not viewed as foreign invaders, but as expressions of internal conditions. The same logic extends outward. Microbes on surfaces are not automatically dangerous. Many cannot survive long without the right moisture, temperature, and nutrient field. Cleanliness mattered historically not because germs jump inside and attack, but because rotting matter attracts fermentation. Just as spoiled food ferments faster than fresh food. The body becomes sick not because a germ entered, but because the internal environment allowed that pattern to take hold. Now, extend this idea to creation itself. The intuition that Earth was formed through a similar internal process is deeply aligned with ancient natural philosophy. Early cosmologies describe Earth as emerging from heat, pressure, fermentation, and condensation, a living system cooling and organizing itself. Life as spontaneous combustion doesn't mean literal fire everywhere, it means self-igniting organization. Metabolism is a slow burn. Cells generate energy through oxidation. Mitochondria operate like microscopic furnaces. Inflammation literally produces heat. Life maintains itself by constantly flirting with entropy and preventing collapse through intelligent regulation. In this sense, the human body is a micro-earth, and earth is a macro body. Both alive, both metabolized. This is where alkaline mineral elements come in. Acids are a natural byproduct of metabolism and fermentation. They are not bad, but they must be buffered. Alkaline minerals act as neutralizers and stabilizers. Conceptually, these include calcium, magnesium, potassium, sodium, silica, and trace minerals. They are found naturally in mineral-rich foods, leafy greens, roots, fruits, herbs, spring water, and mineral salts. In a terrain model, disease is not caused by acid itself, but by acid without sufficient buffering minerals, which weakens blood quality, lymph flow, and cellular resilience. Correcting mechanical lesions refers to restoring structure so fluids and nerves can move freely. When joints are compressed, posture collapses, fascia tightens, or the spine loses mobility, circulation and drainage suffer. At home, this conceptually translates to gentle movement, stretching, posture awareness, breathing, and decompression, anything that restores space. You are not fixing disease, you are removing physical obstacles so the vital force within you can do its work. Even simple actions, changing sitting habits, walking, hanging arms overhead, slow spinal twists fit this philosophy. Naturopathy focuses specifically on connective tissue, fascia, ligaments, tendons, because these tissues transmit tension and fluid movement throughout the body. When fascia becomes rigid, drainage slows. Conceptually at home, slow stretching, hydration, warmth, gentle massage, and rhythmic movement supports this principle. The goal is normal tension. Neurotherapy and spondylotherapy emphasize that the nervous system coordinates everything. Innervation determines digestion, circulation, immune response, and elimination. At home, this means supporting the nervous system through calm breathing, rhythmic movement, rest, sensory regulation, and avoiding constant overstimulation. The spine is seen as a communication highway. When it is rigid or compressed, signals distort. Gentle mobility, posture, and relaxation are the home level expressions of this idea. Disease is a form of fermentation. Acute illness represents accelerated metabolic activity, heat, fluid movement, breakdown, and cleanup. Chronic disease represents stalled fermentation, incomplete processes, stagnation, unresolved debris. Inflammation is the fire phase. Suppression extinguishes the fire too soon. Neglect lets it spread. The art is containment and support. Light and air baths were literal healing practices. That means going outside, preferably all the way nude, and letting the air and the sunlight hit your body. So exposing the skin to fresh air to stimulate circulation, oxygen exchange, and skin elimination. Sunlight exposure was a tonic for blood, nerves, and vitality. Light was seen not just as elimination, but as biological information as well. Both are ways of feeding the body without digestion, nutrition through environment. Early Earth was a high energy, unstable, chemically reactive environment moving toward coherence. The closest honest scientific equivalent would be Earth formed inside a violent, impact-heavy environment with extreme heat flow and chemical disequilibrium, and the planet's long healing was the process of stabilizing gradients into a self-maintaining system. In that metaphor, asteroid impacts are like wounds, volcanism is like fever, oceans are like cooling lymph, and plate tectonics is like long-term drainage and tissue remodeling that prevents stagnation. Life doesn't invade a dead Earth so much as emerge from Earth's own chemistry once the terrain supports it. As oceans, minerals, and energy sources stabilized, the planet became a kind of vast biochemical fermenter. Chemistry repeatedly cycling until self-organizing, self-copying networks could appear. Whether I frame that as Earth's internal intelligence or physics plus chemistry producing complexity, the pattern is the same. Conditions first, then forms that match the conditions. The environment selects what can exist. The starting point is a rotating disk of gas and dust around the young sun, the solar nebula. As that disk cooled, solid grains formed, clumped, and grew into larger bodies. Over time, those fragments became planetesimals, and then a proto-Earth through continued accretion, gravity pulling matter into an ever larger seed until it became a planet. The early Earth didn't form as a cool rock. It was repeatedly heated by impacts, compression, and radioactivity, so it spent long periods partly or largely molten. In that molten stage, Earth differentiated, sorted itself, dense metals sank to form the core, lighter silicates became mantle, and a thin crust eventually formed on top. USGs describes the resulting layered structure as crust, mantle, and core. Sounds like my life. Then came one of the most dramatic events in Earth's early inflammation cycle, the giant impact thought to have formed the moon. In NASA's current explanation, a Mars-sized body nicknamed Theia struck early Earth, or Nibiru. That's the Nibiru story. Ejecting material that later coalesced into the moon. That's crazy. That kind of collision doesn't just change the orbit, it remelts huge volumes of rock, drives chemical reactions, and reshapes the whole metabolism of the planet. So then came them feelings, came them emotions, came that emotional body, you know what I'm saying? As Earth cooled enough to hold a crust, it began breathing. Volcanoes and mantle chemistry released gas, outgassing to help build an early atmosphere, and water entered the surface system through a mix of internal sourcing and delivery by water-bearing asteroids. NASA describes both pathways: volcanic vapor contributing water and a substantial portion coming from impacts of water-rich small bodies. Once liquid water became stable, oceans formed, weathering began, and minerals started cycling between rock, water, air. Over deep time, Earth's interior heat drove plate tectonics, recycling crust, concentrating chemistry at boundaries, and continually renewing the surface. USG summarizes how plate tectonics concentrates earthquakes, volcanoes, and recycles oceanic crust. In the beginning, there was noon, the infinite undifferentiated waters. This is the cosmic part of it. Noon is not water, is the literal sense. Noon is potential, the primordial medium where energy, matter, time, and consciousness are not yet separated. Noon is the quantum vacuum, the plasma field, the cosmic substrate. It is the same medium as ether, the field in which light, electricity, and matter arise. So the egg starts to form from noon, the cosmic egg. This is the first condensation of awareness into form. The egg contains everything, but nothing is yet organized. The egg is a solar nebula, the rotating disk of gas and dust. Consciousness here is not thought, it is self-organizing intelligence. Gravity, rotation, and charge begin sorting matter the way digestion begins sorting nutrients. Then the fire starts to ignite, or the kundalini. Within the egg, the fire awakens, matter collides, heat builds, pressure increases. It is activation. So what does that say about your daily life when fire starts to awaken, heat starts to build, pressure starts to increase? Your life is not ending. Your life is beginning. Take that fire and build yourself from it. That's literally what it's saying here, is activation. Fire is gravitational compression, radioactive heat, impact energy. This is what life of spontaneous combustion really means. Organization ignites itself when conditions are right. Just as your cells oxidize glucose to create energy, Earth oxidizes its raw materials to awaken structure. Because I keep, like, every time I read it, it makes me think of human's life. Like, we literally take the raw materials and we build from them, the raw materials of our life. The body differentiates organs of the planet. The molten earth begins to sort itself. Heavy elements sink, lighter elements rise. This is your ego and your heaviness lifting so your light can shine, okay? Your layers form. Nervous system, electrical generator is the core. The mantle is the metabolic tissue. Metabolic. The crust is the skin. This is the same intelligence that tells calcium to go to bones and iron to blood. No blueprint was imposed. The terrain organized itself. It's beautiful. The wound and the fever, the moon event. Then comes the great trauma, Thea, the impact. Earth is struck violently. Material is ejected. The moon is born. So the moon was born from trauma. Hello? This is a fever. The impact reheats the planet, resets chemistry, stabilizes rotation, and creates tides. In the body, fever is not disease. It is the vital force reorganizing after insult. The moon becomes Earth's regulator, just as the lymphatic system regulates fluids in the body. As Earth cools, it breathes. Volcanoes release gases, steam condenses, rain falls, oceans form. Outgassing is respiration. Oceans is the lymph and internal waters, and rain is a cooling mechanism. This is Earth sweating out excess heat and toxins, exactly like inflammation resolving through drainage. The great fermentation, when life starts to emerge. Now Earth becomes a living barrel. Minerals dissolve into water. Energy flows through chemical gradients. Reactions repeat. Hydrothermal vents, digestive organs. Mineral-rich water, alkaline buffering system. Sunlight, external energy source. This is controlled fermentation, not chaos. Chemistry cycles until it becomes self-maintaining. Life does not arrive, it expresses. This mirrors microzyma. Life forms appear when terrain permits them. The microbial priests, cleaners of morbid matter. Early microbes consume excess chemicals, stabilize gases, and detoxify the planet. Microbes is a planetary phagocytes. They are not invaders, they are sanitation intelligence. Just as bacteria in your gut finish digestion, microbes on Earth finish planetary metabolism. Plate tectonics. Earth never heals by becoming static. Heat continues to circulate. Plates move. Crust is recycled. Plate tectonics is long-term inflammation and regeneration. It prevents stagnation just as circulation prevents disease in the body. A dead planet is a cold planet. Earth was born inside a high entropy, high trauma cosmic environment. Earth was in an acute phase. So, disease is a corrective ignition of intelligence. Earth's early violence was not pathology, it was rapid adaptation. Cosmic impacts, acute injury, volcanism, fever, oceans cooling, lymph, life, immune intelligence, tectonics, remodeling phase. Earth did exactly what a healthy body does under stress. It burned, it drained, it reorganized, and then it stabilized. Our digestion mirrors planetary formation. Fermentation is a creative force. Microbes are not enemies. Fire is life's engine. Healing is intelligent chaos guided by law. Earth is not separate from us. We are Earth remembering itself at a smaller scale. This is why suppressing inflammation, whether in bodies or in understanding, creates chronic illness instead of wisdom. The beetle lays its eggs in dung, fermenting matter, and from that decay, life emerges. That is not accidental. It is the same principle as microzyma. The beetle is pushing the sun. A beetle is not pushing the sun physically. It is pushing order out of chaos. The beetle is the vital force, the formative intelligence. The sun is organized consciousness or the coherent energy. And the dung is undifferentiated matter, noon, or morbid matter. So yes, Kepler is the organizing intelligence acting on the solar nebula, rolling chaotic matter into coherent form through rotation, heat, pressure, and repetition. That's gravity plus electromagnetism plus time. So vital force on Earth is internal heat, electromagnetic coherence, plus self-regulation. Earth is not a dead rock animated later. Earth was alive from ignition. Vital force expresses as core heat, magnetic field, tectonic motion, chemical cycling, emergence of life. So, after the impact that wounded Earth, Earth's material was mixed. Its rotation and tilt changed. A portion of itself became the moon. Memory was externalized into rhythms. So, this is a trauma and dissociation event. Earth didn't forget in a conscious way, but it lost coherence and had to re-stabilize its identity. Just like a nervous system after shock, a body after severe injury, a psyche after trauma, life emerges after this, not as an accident, but as Earth's self-repair system. Life is Earth remembering how to regulate itself. Humans are not separate creations. Humans are Earth's internal organs becoming self-aware. Earth stabilizes heat, chemistry, and rhythm. Microbial life regulates atmosphere and oceans. Multicellular life internalizes oceans. Nervous systems arise to coordinate complexity. Brains arise to model reality internally. Humans are mineral, water, fire, air, electricity, light. We are literally Earth folded inward, the way a cell folds inward to create a nucleus. We are conglomerate cells. So the point is not domination, survival, or escape. The point is coherence through experience. Earth is learning to regulate energy, integrate trauma, sustain complexity without collapse. So are we. We are Earth's reflective neurons. Through us, Earth observes itself, remembers its origin, corrects imbalance consciously, chooses harmony instead of chaos. That's why consciousness matters. That's why suppression causes chronic disease. That's why awareness heals. So Kundalini is the same force as Kepler, but inside the body. Earth level core heat rises, magnetic field stabilizes, energy circulates through ley lines, life flourishes. On a human level, spinal fluid warms, nervous system reorganizes, energy rises through the spine, and consciousness stabilizes. Kundalini is Earth's fire learning to move without destruction. That's why it will feel like heat, pressure, electricity. Emotional purification, identity death, and rebirth. You are reenacting planetary genesis inside your nervous system. How beautiful is that? So, noon is a universal potential field. Central sun is the organizing intelligence within noon. Our sun is localized expression of that intelligence. Earth is a differentiated body within a solar organism, and humans reflective nodes inside Earth. So, Earth comes from noon through the central sun, expressed locally as our sun. That's a mouthful. That's why solar myths, resurrection myths, Kundalini myths, and creation myths all mirror each other. They're describing the same intelligence, repeating at different scales. Earth was never fallen in a moral sense. Earth entered density and differentiation just like humans. And the entire arc, from noon to sun to earth to human to awareness, is not a mistake. It is consciousness learning to inhabit matter without forgetting itself. Mitochondria are kept inside the cell. Mitochondria take decayed matter, glucose, and fats, use oxygen, ignite controlled combustion, generate usable light, ATP, biophotons, power all movement, repair, and awareness. They do not create matter, they roll energy forward. That's exactly what the scarab beetle does. Why dunge matters in the myth. Dunge is fermented matter. Mitochondria evolved from ancient bacteria, symbiotic life that learned to manage fire instead of being consumed by it. So the scarab laying eggs in dunge is not crude symbolism, it is cellular truth. Life emerges when fire is mastered inside decay. Scarab pushes the sun. Earth's core heats, organizes planetary life. Mitochondria push energy, cellular life organizes the body. Vital force is intelligent combustion. Too little fire, stagnation. Too much fire, destruction. The right balance equals life. This is why inflammation, fever, Kundalini heat, planetary volcanism, and metabolic burn are all the same principle. So let's talk about the moon and the subconscious and the lymphatic system. That which remembers rhythm after trauma. The myth, the moon is born from violence. It governs tides, fertility, cycles, memory, return. The decoding is the moon is Earth's externalized subconscious. After the impact, Earth could no longer regulate itself alone, so rhythm was externalized. So the moon stabilizes rotation, regulates tides, entrains cycles, pulls fluids, stores timing. The lymphatic system regulates fluids, removes waste, responds slowly, is rhythmic, not forceful, stores immune memory, moves with breath and motion. Lymph is the moon inside the body. Blood is the sun, fast, forceful, bright. Lymph is the moon, slow, receptive, clearing. That's why trauma affects lymph, hormones, cycles, immunity, emotional memory. And that's why Kundalini work, emotional healing, and lymphatic movement are inseparable. Why the moon governs the subconscious, because the subconscious is regulatory memory, not conscious will. It remembers how to move, when to release, when to swell, when to rest. Earth lost part of itself. The moon held the memory. Humans repress experience. The subconscious holds the memory. The same pattern. Earth needs humans to regulate. What Earth can do without us: regulate heat, move plates, cycle water, generate life, recover after catastrophe. Earth survived asteroid impacts and mass extinctions without help. But Earth needs conscious coherence as well. Not worship, not guilt, not domination, not escape. What humans uniquely provide So humans are the only system where mineral, water, fire, air, electricity, light, and self-reflective awareness exist in one coherent loop. We are Earth's nervous system becoming self-aware. Earth does not need action. Earth needs regulation through awareness. So, maintain internal coherence. When humans heal trauma, regulate emotions, and stabilize the nervous system, Earth's field stabilizes too. Why? Because fields couple. Incoherent nodes destabilize networks. Coherent nodes entrain others. This is physics. Stop suppressing natural correction, suppressing inflammation in bodies, suppressing regeneration in ecosystems, suppressing emotional processing, suppressing planetary feedback. You don't fix Earth, you stop blocking its self-healing mechanisms. Become conscious mirrors. When humans start to realize inflammation as intelligence, microbes as recyclers, fire as sacred, decay as transformation, Earth no longer has to express imbalance unconsciously through catastrophe. Earth no longer has to express imbalance unconsciously through catastrophe. Awareness reduces the need for violent correction. Earth did not forget its origin. Earth externalized memory into form. Humans are memory returning inward. Humans are memory returning inward. Kundalini is that memory moving back up the axes, the tree of life. Resurrection myths are that memory reintegrating. Healing is memory recohering. Mother Earth needs us to be coherent enough that it doesn't have to scream. When we say Earth heals itself, we do not mean intention or thought. We mean homeostasis through physical systems. Just like your body heals a cut without deciding to. without deciding to. Heat regulation, excess internal heat, volcanism, tectonics, hydrothermal vents. Release of pressure prevents catastrophic rupture. Fever, sweating, inflammation, chemical buffering, oceans neutralize acids, rocks weather to release alkaline minerals, carbon is sequestered into stone, blood buffering acids with minerals, calcium, magnesium, bicarbonate. Water circulation, evaporation, rain, rivers, oceans, flushes waste, redistributes energy, lymphatic system, and kidneys. Biological recycling, microbes break down toxins, plants convert excess CO2 to oxygen, ecosystems rebalance after disruption, gut microbiome, and immune system. Structural renewal, plate tectonics recycle crust, old land subducts, new land emerges. Tissue remodeling and bone turnover. So that's automatic regulation. So what does becoming self-aware mean? It's gaining reflective regulation through humans. In biology, so it's feedback becoming conscious. In biology, a reflex is automatic. Awareness allows less forceful correction. When a body lacks awareness, it uses pain, it uses inflammation, it uses crisis. When awareness increases, the system corrects earlier with less damage through subtle feedback. Humans provide early warning, perception, not control. The Christ story, the Osiris story, was the story of the nervous system rebooting and gaining coherence. Osiris is dismembered, scattered pieces. Isis gathers them. Breath returns. Osiris rises but transformed. Osiris is the integrated nervous system. Dismembering is the trauma. Isis is the regulatory intelligence. The parasympathetic feminine. Resurrection is recoherence, not reversal. In trauma, nervous system fragments, functions go offline, energy collapses downward, awareness narrows. In healing, sensation returns, breath deepens, spinal fluid circulation improves, electrical coherence restores. Resurrection is a reboot, not a rewind. You don't go back to before trauma, you become more integrated than before. That's why resurrection is transformation, not erasure. You're not getting rid of anything, you're transmuting it through alchemy. When systems accumulate unresolved pressure, they reset. Repressed emotion, dissociation, collective denial, fragmentation. Mass distinctions occur when feedback loops fail early, forcing large-scale correction. Awareness allows micro adjustments. Lack of awareness forces macro resets. Trauma isn't the cause, unprocessed information is. So let's talk about the central sun, the pineal, and the biophoton field. The central sun is not a star in space, it is the organizing intelligence of light. Coherence, timing, synchronization, information carried by light. Pineal, or the biophoton, pineal gland regulates circadian rhythm, responds to light, modulates neurochemistry, influences perception and meaning. Biophotons, cells emit ultra-weak light. DNA responds to light. Light carries information, not just energy. The pineal is a local receiver, not a transmitter of divinity. Just like Earth's core receives solar input, mitochondria receive oxygen and light information. Cells synchronize via photons. Central sun, localized sun, Earth, human nervous system. Not hierarchy of power, hierarchy of resonance. Humans provide perception, meaning, early feedback, choice before catastrophe. When humans regulate their nervous system, process trauma instead of repressing it, respect biological cycles, stop fighting natural correction, Earth does not need to escalate signals. Pain decreases when information is received. That is true in bodies, that is true in ecosystems, that is true in societies. Noon, undifferentiated space-time, quantum vacuum, and pre-structure field. This is not nothing, it is everything without differentiation. No form yet, no direction yet. Symbolically, this is a black hole. It is the condition that produces them as well. Black holes don't destroy reality, they dissolve structure back into potential. Noon is that state before a structure emerges. In modern cosmology, stars and planets form because matter collapsed under gravity. This collapse is black hole adjacent physics, inward pull, compression, heat, ignition, differentiation. But the collapse does not cross the event horizon. Instead of becoming a true black hole, the system stabilizes into a star, the sun, a disk, solar nebula, rotating matter, and finally, Earth. This is Kepler's push. This Garab is not pushing matter away from collapse. It is pushing matter through collapse into organized form. So, the black hole stage is potential collapsing into density without losing coherence. That is controlled collapse. A wormhole in physics is a theoretical structure that allows compression, curvature, transition without infinite destruction. A wormhole is collapsed with memory preserved. That is exactly what happens during Earth's formation. Instead of collapsing into a star, collapsing into a black hole, it is reorganized, redistributed, maintained gradient, stabilized rotation. Earth is a successful wormhole outcome of collapse. So the impact of Theia, near event horizon but not crossing it. The Theia collision is the closest Earth comes to a black hole moment. Immense energy, inward and outward shock, massive restructuring. But again, the event horizon is not crossed. Instead, material is ejected. Rotation stabilizes. Ties form. Long-term coherence increases. This is a wormhole correction. Earth could have become uninhabitable. Instead, it reorganized. This is why the moon is not a scar. It is a stabilizer. Life is how Earth moves energy through collapse without destruction. Microbes, chemistry, metabolism absorb excess energy, distribute it, convert heat into structure, turn chaos into cycles. Life is not a random add-on. Life is Earth's wormhole mechanism. It allows Earth to dissipate pressure gradually, recycle matter continuously, avoid catastrophic resets. Disease is uncontrolled fermentation. Health is controlled fermentation.